Hey Pete, there were some reports that surfaced yesterday about a visit with Damon Harrison coming up next week. But I guess my broader question here, how difficult is it right now trying to manage your roster, manage all the injuries when you've got the COVID-19 precautions, making it difficult to sign outside free agents? And do you have reservations more so than a normal year about signing guys off the street?
Okay, a few questions in there. First thing, it is different because of the time frame it takes. It's hard to immediately respond if you want to do that, and so you have to plan everything out, and you got to get it organized for and you don't always have all of the information. So we have to solve our problems immediately from within, and that's what we're trying to be prepared to do. And then when you can find a guy that could match up and could fill a need, then we'll go ahead and work outside. We're always looking. We're always working. I mean, that's nothing new for you guys to hear from me, but that's the whole point, is that we're always trying to work to know what's out there, what we could possibly do, and have the information that's necessary to get it done. But as far as worrying about the guys, coming in, like entering, the bubble in essence, there's a protocol to that too, and we're buying into it right now. That that the couple deals we have to do, the tests we have to do to get them ready to work out with us is it is what it is. It ain't great, because there's a better way to do it. That means test them longer and further out. But we're not able to do that, so we do the best we can, and we're not reluctant though, based on the protocol. You probably had a couple other questions in there that I don't know. If you got one, I'll fix it. What do you
Thanks,
got?
Pete. Appreciate it.
Yo.
Bob?
Yeah, Pete. So what's Rasheem Green's situation? We saw he went on IR, and that was announced and all that. And then what's Benson Mayoa, and what's his probability of playing Sunday?
Yeah, Rasheem, it's just going to be a couple more weeks. So this was the right way to handle this, to give him. We're expecting him to come back to us. He's just got to get through the process and make sure that he can pass his tests. And so it's going to be a couple weeks, we think. So this is going to work out okay in terms of putting him down, and he'll be available to return. The other guy was.
Benson.
Oh yeah, Benson. Benson is practiced today and did all right. So he looks like he's got a chance. I think he's probably questionable right now, but he's coming back to us. So it looks like he's got a chance.
Michael Sean?
Hey Pete, Russ let us know that you guys were meeting about the ruling in the Breonna Taylor case after practice Thursday night. Did you guys have that meeting, and how did it go?
Yeah, we did. I think it went well. First off, in terms of just getting everybody up to speed with what's happening. Our in-house counsel talked to us and just to make sure that everybody understood what really was at stake and what was going on with the ruling and all of that. And then tried to look forward to the discussions that could help us eventually get to how we could solve the issues. And there's considerable issues with law enforcement and how they're judged, their actions and all that. And we understand better how that's mandated by local jurisdiction, and so that's a good thing to understand. So it isn't like everybody's in the same boat. There's different rules and different guidelines and laws and all that kind of stuff. It was really good for the guys there, and then I hoped that we encouraged our guys, to open the discussions in the issues and the questions that they have as we move forward with the information we needed. Plus, we talked again about the power of voting and how important it is, and how important it is to understand who we're voting for in the local elections. That's a really big deal, particularly in this kind of a case. And so it was really a good educational opportunity for our guys, and I hope they gain something from it.
You said you have in-house counsel. Who is that?
Yeah, Ed Goins gave us a presentation.
Just about about her case specifically, or about the importance of voting or local elections? Presentation about what?
He touched on a little bit of everything, and our guys had some questions that led us to some stuff that he helped us kind of get in order. One of the issues for our guys is they would like to be active with their voting, and they want to do a good job of representing here in the area. But it's difficult for them, for everybody, to understand who's who in the elections. And there's a lot of names, and so we're going to continue to help give information to our guys so they know who's out there and really the people that are speaking on behalf of the issues they want to favor, and which is that whole essence of voting, and one vote counting and all that, is knowing what the heck's going on. So I think it was really clear that we're going to get some good help, and it's going to give these guys a better perspective.
Thanks.
John,
Yeah, Pete, you've got a couple of young guys stepping into bigger roles with Jordan Brooks and then Ugo also in the nickel. Just what did you see out of them this week of practice, kind of them knowing they have to step up to that?
Well, we're really excited for Jordan to get more playing time for all of the right reasons that he's shown us. You know, he's ready to go, and you know, he won't be perfect, but he'll be at it, and he's a bright football player. Hopefully, we can position him in some good spots to do some good things for him. And Ugo's ready to go. You know, Ugo's been working and been diligent about everything throughout, so that he could jump to the opportunity like he did last week. So he's ready to roll, and we'll look forward to him being real active in this game.
Curtis,
Hey Pete, how's Quentin Dunbar doing? What's his situation? And then Nico Thorpe as well, because it's a couple cornerbacks you got a little dinged up at the moment.
Yeah, with Quinn, he didn't practice much this week, but he looks like he's ready to play. But we wanted to make sure and give him as much rest time as possible. Well, Nico's got a groin thing going here that we got to figure out and make sure that he's ready to roll also. So we won't know until game time.
Brady,
Curtis just asked my question, so I do have one.
Yeah. Pull one out. Shoot from the hip. Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Back to the question about bringing guys in for workouts. Do you think there is a workaround to that? Like, what would stop the NFL from allowing teams to work guys out at like a neutral location to where you wouldn't have to bring them into your building?
That would be a really big step organizationally and administratively and all that. To do that would be a good thing. There's been conversations about that for a long time, about organizing kind of a central spot where talent could kind of work out and condition, and you could go to, kind of like a pool of players and all that. But it hasn't. John's been in on those discussions for years, but it hasn't come about. But really, we're going through a procedure that gets the guys tested and cleared, so it's not a problem, and they're not they're not mixing with all the players on those days, and all that, and so we're not really worried about it. It's not as big issues as I think you guys might think.
Thanks.
Greg,
Pete, with Josh Gordon, can you send him game film? Can you be in touch with him? Anything? Keep him in the loop at all? Or is he completely non-trust?
No, we're not able to do that.
Is there any? I keep asking you, and you're probably gonna give me the same answer. Is there any indication of when he might be reinstated, or if he is?
Has the same answer been? I don't know.
You can't talk about it, is what you're
right?
saying.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because we can't talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
Joe,
Did you decide what you're going to do with your open roster spot?
Yes.
Can you share it?
Nah, not
Right.
yet.
It's worth
Sorry.
trying.
Just
No, it's
competing on this end. I know you're
Yep.
just competing too. I get it.
Curtis,
Following up on the cornerback thing, you brought up Lyndon Stevens. He made your initial 53. What's he kind of shown you and in camp and such, and the impression he's made on you?
Yeah, he had a really good camp. He was very, very competitive. We went after him a lot with the top receivers, just as the rotations came out, and he just did really well. And so we're excited about him being part of the team, and he's also working inside the nickel spot too. And so he's could be a factor in special teams for us. He's a really good energy guy and a tough guy, and he's got really good quickness. And so he's just made good impressions, and so we're happy to have him up.
Art,
Pete, you said earlier in the week you were going to have your research guys look at the injury data to see if this rash of injuries in week 2 was unusual or typical. Did you have any result in that yet?
It's really not. It's not complete to give you a real solid answer on that, but their numbers were up for sure. The numbers were up in this week, in this second week, and so we're really curious about is what happens this week, and does that continue, or was that just kind of fluke? Because it could be, but we're ahead of the numbers in the past.
AJ?
Coach, just a quick follow-up on Ed coming in and giving a presentation to your players. Is that something that you're doing for the local elections in Seattle? And is that something also that you would consider sharing, like with the public, the resources as far as educating not just the Seahawks organization, but potentially the public in Seattle and the Washington area on what's at stake at each individual election?
Yeah, our guys were particularly interested in the local elections, and the ballots can kind of be intimidating sometimes, when there's so many people running for spots and stuff like that, and to get through the information, we're trying to help them decipher what they're looking for, and we're going to use everything available to make those declarations for guys. We're not trying to turn anybody in any direction at all. We're just trying to let them know who's who and where what they're looking for in the people they want to vote for. So it'll be a collaboration with the players as well. And I'm kind of excited about that because our guys are interested and they want to know, and that's a big step forward. And I'm sure that they're not alone in that. I'm sure this is a common. It could be commonly found around not just the league, but just in the social settings. That people are interested more than ever, it seems, and so hopefully we'll be able to help them out.
Thank you.
Bob?
Yeah, Pete, I just wanted to ask about Alton Robinson, and I imagine he's probably going to be a big part of this game plan, maybe. But just what have you sort of seen out of him so far?
He's a real strong player, a natural rusher. He's got a natural kind of package of moves and things that he's comfortable with, speed to power, and all that stuff. He's got some real stuff. He's worked hard to hold up his end of it. We're not hesitant to play him in any situation in the game, meaning that he's got the playbook, and he's understanding it. So we're going in with confidence that he'll do a good job.
Last question, Chris Francis.
All right. Coach, I know you don't have your usual home field advantage, but I'm just curious, playing at home 2 weeks in a row, you guys may be used to this new kind of setting thing, and it's no picnic for Dallas to travel. What's the advantage there, if there is anyone?
Well, it's the advantage is that you don't have to go on the road, and not everybody, likes going on the road, and sometimes they feel like they're at a disadvantage just because they have to. Well, we don't feel like that, but I don't know them well enough. Mike's always had good teams that kind of play well everywhere, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. But it's just different. It's just the unfamiliarity that works in your favor, and it certainly isn't the noise factor anymore. That's not part of it. But there's some unfamiliarity, but hopefully I'm hoping our guys feel even better about being here and going through the routine, understanding what it's all about, and all that. And did you see my friend DK walk by there? Okay. So anyway, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it goes during the season and to see how the numbers turn out for travel teams and home teams. We have nothing to go by right now, but I do know going to Atlanta was not that difficult for us. It wasn't, there was no issues other than the newness of the hotel and all that. It didn't bother us, and you saw us. We were pretty connected and played together in that game. So we'll see what happens with these guys. I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
See you guys.